Right ahead on 12 News.
It's beyond a sadness, really.
A Brooklyn Park family's pain and plea to help find a hit-and-run driver. Plus, rebranding a city, how Brooklyn Center hopes to change its image. And later, inspiration at a Robbinsdale school, where students learn no challenge is too big. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. It has been 1 week since a Brooklyn Park man was critically injured after a driver hit him and then fled the scene.
And today, reporter Sonia Goins talked with Seth Bennett's family and has more on their efforts to find the person responsible.
This is a flyer that we're posting around the businesses in Brooklyn Park and Crystal.
Candy Nays is spending this sunny fall day
Hi there.
putting up posters of her younger brother.
We're going to go to a few more stores and see if they'll allow us to put them up.
She's hoping to jog someone's memory.
Is there a certain place you want me to put it?
Many people in the area knew Seth because he loved to walk these streets.
So sorry. Thank you.
Last Tuesday, 23-year-old Seth Bennett was struck by a car as he tried to cross County Road 81 and 71st Avenue. It was around 11 o'clock at night. The driver never stopped.
You know you hit him. He's 6 foot tall, almost 200 pounds. There's no way you could think that you hit it, that you didn't hit anything or hit something else.
Seth is now at North Memorial Hospital fighting for his life.
It's beyond a sadness, really. I don't think devastated covers it either.
He has 2 broken legs, a broken collarbone, head trauma, and other injuries.
In the next couple of days, we're going to be making some tough decisions regarding his care.
Seth has overcome many obstacles. He's high-functioning autistic and didn't speak until he was 5 years old.
Seth was able to graduate high school, which again was something that we didn't know would be possible for someone with his conditions.
While the family prays for a miracle, they're asking for the person responsible to come forward.
I know that you may be scared and sad for yourself right now, but if you come forward, we will help you because we're scared too.
Candy says she wants to believe that this was truly an accident and the person just panicked.
But if you don't come forward and you make us find you, it will be hard for us to feel sorry for you.
Police are actively investigating this case, but they have little to go on. They're looking for a dark-colored sedan with front-end damage. If you have any information, give them a call. In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
A former bookkeeper is now charged with stealing more than $180,000 from the North Hennepin Community College Foundation. Allison Klug of Mound is accused of issuing duplicate paychecks, cashing them, and recording false names in a computer program to make it look like someone else was being paid. Klug worked as an independent contractor. The complaint says she admitted forging signatures on the checks and stealing money from the foundation since April of 2014. The foundation discovered the theft through a routine audit, and the money is used for college scholarships.
With the raising of her hand, history was made Monday night in Brooklyn Park.
District Council Member?
West District Council Member.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations.
Newly elected council member Susan Pa now represents Brooklyn Park's West District. Surrounded by friends and family, Pa became the city's first person of color elected to the council. Among American who came to the U.S. when she was just 3 years old, Pa is a small business owner and a mother of 4. After the swearing in, Pa started her council work and got a vote of confidence from a fellow member.
I really just want to serve the residents here in this city. I want to be a voice for them. I want to serve them. I want to fight for the things that are important to them. And I want to really work on their behalf.
Well, the community is starting to see people of color up here, which I think is going to help the community more. But she's going to do a great job. She's going to be a great addition.
Pa was sworn in early since the West District seat was vacant due to former council member John Jordan's move out of the city. The city of Brooklyn Center is beginning a rebranding campaign.
The city wants to get some ideas from residents on how they can promote Brooklyn Center in a positive way. Reporter Eric Nelson has more.
Brooklyn Center is 105 years old. The city now believes it is time to launch a rebranding campaign to reshape BC's image.
We want to be able to articulate to citizens and also visitors and businesses that this is a good place to do business, and it's a safe place to do business and a safe place to live.
Brooklyn Center's population is just over 30,000, with a diverse mix of older and new residents. The city wants to strike a balance between preserving its history and moving into the future.
We have a rich history of agriculture with Oral Brown, as well as new populations, so we are growing and changing populations.
The city's new branding campaign will also include input from Brooklyn Center residents. They will be able to weigh in on what the city should do to change its image. 12,000 postcards with an access link to the city's webpage will be mailed to people and businesses, soliciting ideas.
Try and get rid of the image that this is like a first-ring suburb, that when people are running away from the big city, the first place they come to is Brooklyn Center, and then they move further out, further out, further out.
I do miss like the Brookdale shopping mall. That was so sad when it went down to nothing. You know, it was like 1-2 stores in there. So I think a big mall would be really nice to have.
I'd like to see them have some more things for like teenagers to do, maybe like on weekends and stuff like that, you know, keep them out of trouble.
BC's proximity to popular restaurants, sports venues, and theaters in Minneapolis will be a selling point in the rebranding effort.
You can have access to all the amenities of the metropolitan area, but yet you can still feel at home.
There could even be a new logo on the horizon. It's all part of changing the perception of Brooklyn Center. In Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Any potential rebranding changes won't be made until late March. Osseo plans to expand its marketing efforts with a large sign at the busiest intersection in town. City Council has okayed a $165,000 sign that would look like this at the intersection of County Road 81 and Jefferson Highway. Money for the sign would come from donations, a grant from Hennepin County, and money budgeted by the city. Officials say it could be used to promote city events and businesses.
The city of Plymouth this week could make a decision on a rundown hotel that's been closed for months. The Days Inn, just off Highway 55 and Interstate 494, has been closed since August. Inspectors found mold in the walls and windows that were in poor shape. The hotel's elevator was also placed out of service. City officials say repair work has been very slow and something needs to be done.
We've worked with the demolition contractor to identify the areas that need to be removed for exposure and for inspection. And the city continues to kind of work with them through the demolition process. However, work has been progressing very slowly.
The Plymouth City Council will consider an abatement order that requires the building to be fixed or torn down if certain target dates for repairs are not met.
A place in Golden Valley to rent classic cars could be on the move. Maury's Heritage Car Connection has plans to move to a different location along I-394. It would replace a vacant metal manufacturing facility. Maury's would move out of its current Pennsylvania Avenue location. The car rental business allows you to rent a wide range of classic vehicles, from a '67 Ford Mustang Fastback to a 2011 Maserati. Maury's hopes to begin operations at the Colorado Avenue site next spring.
Coming up, a looming health problem, antibiotic-resistant bacteria. That's next in Health Check.
And later in sports, Totino-Grace moves indoors to prepare for a state playoff football game at U.S. Bank Stadium.
But first, more mild temperatures on Wednesday. But a big change is coming. Winter-like weather is expected at the end of the week. Antibiotics are used to kill bacterial infections such as pneumonia and also strep throat.
But according to state health officials, millions of unnecessary antibiotic prescriptions are written every year. In today's Health Check, Blaine Cleveland has more on why that's bad and what the health community is doing.
Visit any pharmacy and you're guaranteed to see antibiotics sitting on the shelves. At this pharmacy in Richfield, staff members are busy filling bottles with the multicolored pills.
Penicillin, amoxicillin are common antibiotics that I would prescribe.
Jenny Schmitz is a physician assistant at the HCMC clinic in Golden Valley. She says if people come in to see a doctor, generally they want to leave with a prescription.
Of course they want to feel better, and the common perception is that antibiotics are going to make them feel better, when in reality that's not the case for a lot of the time.
But according to the Minnesota Department of Health, each year in the United States, doctors' offices prescribe 47 million unnecessary antibiotic prescriptions. As a result, that's led to the emergence of antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
And the big problem is that we are not developing new antibiotics at the rate that we're becoming resistant to the ones we have. So at some point, there's going to be a bigger problem if we continue in the path that we're moving right now.
To prevent those problems, health officials urge people to do things like wash your hands properly. Doing so will help you avoid infections and decrease the need for antibiotics. Or if you are prescribed an antibiotic, finish it completely and don't share your medication with anyone else.
It's prescribed the way it is because that's how long it takes to eradicate bacteria.
Experts also recommend that patients avoid asking their physician for antibiotics when they're not needed.
You know, if you go in and your provider says, gosh, I think this is viral, trust that they know what they're talking about.
Doing so could prevent long-term consequences.
It is a distinct reality that we could develop more widespread cases of resistant bacteria.
For Health Check, Blaine, Cleveland, 12 News.
Well, coming up, some students in Robbinsdale learn an easy answer for difficult challenges.
But first, the Totino-Grace football team gets set for a rematch with Blaine in the state semifinals. John Jacobson has a preview coming up next in sports.
We're down to the final four in each class in the prep football playoffs. Totino-Grace is in a familiar spot in the Class 6A semifinals. And Jay Wilcox has more on the Eagles.
Totino-Grace is no stranger to deep playoff runs. It's an expectation, really. But they do want to get used to indoor football in preparation for US Bank Stadium. So a trip to the Maple Grove Dome for practice will help in that transition.
It will be different from the cool weather outside, but I think more of the impact is practicing on turf. That's definitely different than practicing on our grass field back at school, so I think getting the feel for the difference of the traction in the turf and that sort of thing helps with preparation, how we play in the game.
But just in the new environment, I think it's going to help us in the long run. Just get used to sweating at least, so we're not outside and it's not cold anymore.
After taking care of Lakeville North in the quarterfinals, Totino-Grace now meets Blaine, a team that played them tough in a 21-14 win for Grace during the regular season.
They're just a solid football team. They're good. Their defense flies around, they hit you, and they've turned people over a lot. They're big play defense. They've scored a lot of defensive touchdowns. They've blocked kicks. They've intercepted the ball. They're a well-coached, talented defensive group. Offensively, they're really skilled.
I guess scrimmaging them in the summertime, it helped both of us. We know what they do, they know what we do, so it's kind of just who can execute better and just less like fumbles, just mistakes otherwise.
It's not exactly a secret that many football fans are expecting an Eagles versus Eagles 6A championship, meaning Eden Prairie and Totino-Grace. Part of what's made this a successful program at Grace, the ability not to look past anyone.
Focus on the team in front of us, take care of business there, and then see what happens next week.
If we believe that it's Eagles against Eagles, we'll let this game slip by, so we might not even win this one. So we just have to focus on this game and see how far we can get.
Totino-Grace is playing well, and they're ready for another big test Thursday night. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Totino-Grace meets Blaine at 7 o'clock Thursday night at US Bank Stadium. We will have a look at both Champlain Park and Benilde St. Margaret's and preview their state semifinal games later this week here on 12 News. Heritage Christian Academy placed fourth in the state Class A volleyball tournament over the weekend. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, we profiled the Eagles' Bella Lien. Here's Jay again with a clip from that story.
Lien is one of 4 Heritage volleyball players to sign letters of intent to play college sports last week. 3 in volleyball and 1 in golf. It's a point of pride in a very small school.
You know, there's 4 of us on the volleyball team who are all playing collegiate sports, you know, not all for volleyball, but so it's really awesome that, you know, we have a class of less than 50 and 4 of us are all, you know, signing this week for sports in college, so.
Bella's choice, North Dakota State University.
I have family from NDSU, and so that was a huge part of it. And my sister goes to NDSU also, and yeah, you know, I really liked the school. I really liked the coaches and a lot of the girls. So.
Lien's been a strong blocker and improved as a hitter through her career. She added 6 rotation player to her resume.
You know, the first game that I played, I was like, wow, this is so much. I was like, it's so much. But no, I've really grown to like it, and I like the challenge. And you know, I was kind of like, oh, this is something different.
Watch the rest of the Bella Lien story and more on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on channels 12 and 799 and online at 12.tv. While a few of the fall sports teams and athletes are still competing this season, we drop the puck on winter sports tonight. Breck and Benilde St. Margaret's playing girls hockey in what should be a good game. You can watch it live tonight online via the web on our live stream link and tune into it on Channel 12 Wednesday night at 7 and our HD channel 799. Minnesota State High School League policies don't allow us to telecast the football semifinals live this Thursday and Friday. However, you can watch the Totino-Grace and Blaine games Saturday morning at 10 and catch Champlin Park versus Eden Prairie Saturday night at 7. Grand Stadium TV will be live streaming all of the semifinal football games for a fee at grandstadium.tv. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, an inspiring story involving sharks, fires, even a pirate scare.
The person behind a record-breaking row comes to Robbinsdale. You'll meet her next. Finally, students in Robbinsdale are encouraged to chase their dreams from someone who achieved hers.
That's right. Listen to this. Katie Spotz is the youngest person to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She achieved the feat 6 years ago. Now Katie serves as a motivational speaker, and she raises awareness and money for clean water projects in the developing world through a partnership with the White Bear Lake nonprofit called H2O for Life. She spoke to students at Sacred Heart School, telling them that no challenge is too big to tackle.
For me, the row wasn't 3,000 miles, it was 1 mile 3,000 times, and learning how to break down super big challenges into, you know, small steps to get there.
Good advice. It took Spotz 70 days to row across the Atlantic from West Africa to South America. And among the challenges that Katie faced during her row, sharks, 30-foot waves, fires, and what she thought was an encounter with pirates. Oh, so Katie hasn't decided her next adventure, but listen to this. 6 weeks ago, she completed a 100-mile race.
Wow.
So run.
100 miles
What's
on foot.
next?
Yeah, well, how do you top that? She'll probably come up with something.
Exactly. Yeah. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again Wednesday, starting at 4.